And everybody, I know you're here because this is a casual with the amazing Irish Granny Tarot Part 3.
Oh, is it?
So,
Oh, well, thank you,
Part
Jerry,
3.
for having me back. I
I
appreciate it.
am thrilled to have you back. I am Tarot Stash. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. And as usual, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. So, but
Which goes against everything in my body because I'm a mom and I'm always.
no, that's mom help.
I know.
I mean, and let me tell you, my mom and dad have both been gone for a while. There are days that I'm picking up my phone and I'm like, oh, I
Oh.
need to call. Oh, so can't call mom, can't call
Send your
dad.
questions to Ask Your Irish Granny on Substack.
There you go. Yes, and by the way, all of Helen's
Mm.
links are below, as are mine. So there's ways that you can support all of the channels. Thank you for that. And oh, here, I have to do this. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up because that lets YouTube know that you like us. It also
That diet's really working for you.
it is. It's a good diet, isn't it? It's a good diet. It's a very good diet. So give
Just
it a
got to
thumbs
work
up.
on the spot. You know how they talk about you're losing weight from one place and not another.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did your ring size go down?
My ring size did go down a lot, and I'm saving on nail polish.
Oh,
So,
well.
that's okay. So, we have a whole bunch of people here, and thank you everybody for being here. Butterflies are free. Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, has joined us. Linda Kennedy, Tiffany Tisdale, Linda De Gonzalez is here. Maureen, and Pia. So lots of lovely people. Now, so if you were here the last time, I surprised Helen by having some cards that were random topics. And so we have 4 more cards. But before we do that, Helen, what's going on in your world? Anything you want to share about YouTube or anything like that?
Oh, I thought you meant like in my personal world. My husband has been installing a new wood stove for going on 5 weeks.
Okay.
And I am goal oriented and he is detail oriented, and I'm losing my mind. So this is the story of our lives. We've been married, God knows, a donkey's age, as my grandmother would say, well over 45 years. All I can say is this: if you get a phone call from the county, it was justifiable homicide, please put some money in my commissary.
Aww.
No, he's doing great.
Does he have an idea of how long it will take?
No. And here's an example. I mean, I feel really guilty talking about him to the whole world like this, but
it's just us. It's just us.
He does everything, and he's meticulous, and it's always beautiful. You name it, he can play every instrument. He can refinish any piece of furniture. He's a cartoonist. There's just nothing that he can't do except clean up after himself. And we've lived in the same house for 40 years, and he still doesn't know where the plates and the cups and the glasses go. He'll put them away, but it's cockeyed where he puts them. So anyway, he took out the old stove, which was 1,000 years old, and really probably not safe. He took out the surround, which is fireproof, So it's in a bit of a corner. So the wall is like this, and in the back, it was fake fire brick.
Okay.
But it looked like something you'd see if you went to visit the ruins in Pompeii.
Okay.
And then under it was a cement slab, but it was all pockmarked, like it had been strafed during World War II,
Sure.
not in good shape. So he pulled all of that out and he replaced it. He did all this tile work, dark gray slate, long rectangles. It's absolutely beautiful. And then we got this beautiful little red enamel stove. It's so cute.
Oh.
I don't want to use it. I just want to look at it,
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Of course.
But because of doing the tiling, he wrecked some plaster, which was expected. So he had to fix the plaster. So it took him a good week. He plasters like he's doing what are those massages, those deep tissue massages,
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got it all done. Painted it. I went for a walk with the dogs thinking, okay, one more week. Went for a walk with the dogs, came home. He saw some hairline cracks and he replastered the whole thing. Oh my God, we live in the Pacific Northwest. There's no such thing as not having cracks
Yes.
in paint or,
Yes.
excuse me, your sidewalks and stuff. Thought it was going to be finished today. I was so excited. So he'll order something and he won't do anything with it until he's done a million other things. He puts the pipe and it's an inch too short and he has to order a new pipe. I'm losing my mind. It's just driving me crazy.
Yes. But this is, one of the wonderful things about someone like him is it will be perfect, it will last, and it will work. So that's the beautiful thing. So
I once came home, he did an addition. This is a very old house, and he extended it so that we would actually have a kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
I came home one day, this is decades ago, to find my little children, like a 9-year-old and 11-year-old, helping him raise a support beam. Oh my God.
I love that. Those are the things those are the stories that will be told. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh. So more people are coming in. Thank you everybody for being here. It's great to see everyone. Thank you for those of you who are watching the playback. We do appreciate it. So one of the things that I want to share before we go to the 4 questions, or the 4 topics, because I've forgotten the topics at this point.
I had forgotten there were questions when you held up the cards. I went, oh God, I'm trying to remember that.
Oh, well, we already did other questions, so it's all good.
Remember that,
and, Maureen said, I wonder if Helen's husband is a Scorpio.
No, he's a Sagittarius.
Okay.
His stupid birthday is a week before Christmas. It's yet another nail in my coffin. I try to come up with 2 presents in 1 week. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So tomorrow on my channel, at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 p.m. Pacific, I am hosting something that is #mental health magic. And what are you chuckling about?
I'm feeling a little like it's a little personal, but okay. Is this kind of geared towards anyone you feel might need it?
No. Okay. This is what's really great about this is we're going to have a conversation about mental health and overall well-being and what things we can do when we're in good shape, what things we can do when we start to get out of balance, and then what we can do for when we regain that balance. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the conversation. So
it's useful to have techniques and tools that you can access when it's times you're getting stressed. So
yes. And this is very much, I'm glad you said that, Helen, because and Beth said, yes, Helen, this really is an intervention.
That's fine. Bring it on.
So and JL added, I'll just answer moist. So but no, I mean, because one of the things that people who watch my channel know, I do more than just readings. I do
Mm-hmm.
conversations, and
Mm-hmm.
let's find out about topics, let's explore things. And this, the idea of a toolkit has come up for a while, and I think it's a really important aspect. If it's like going, what are the things that I can do?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm in the midst of something, I forget that I can do that, and we need that reminder. So
knowing what will work in any given
yep,
crisis, that's the other.
yes.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation with Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path, meeting Betsy Palmer, and Zane from Tarot Token Witchery, because all of us do our own type of magic,
Mm-hmm.
and some people, whatever you do, you might not call it magic, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and so we're going to have a conversation and we're going to learn from each other. So
It's weird. I tell you, I was just telling my husband, it's very strange to have friends who are psychic. Commonalities, synchronicities pop up all the
yep,
time. For
yep,
example, I did a ritual today. I've never done that. A friend of mine, do you know Nate, my friend Nate?
yes,
He
yes,
sent me a ritual. All good, nothing bad. I would never do anything like that. It was a ritual. Well, I won't go into it, but but I've never done one before. And what do you talk about? That's just so weird.
And let me ask you this, because I am a practicing witch.
Mm-hmm.
So how was it for you? I don't give me any details, but how was it to
Well,
do
I
the
can tell you basically what it was. It was a binding ritual
mm-hmm.
for an individual that, who can you think of that you would
Okay.
love? Okay. I don't know yet. It was cathartic because I felt like,
Good.
okay, I'm doing something.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it and the beauty of it is it's not vindictive or malicious or malign
Yeah.
or dark. It's about asking the intercession of elevated beings to create a firewall. Basically, that's not the
I love
word
that.
they use, but
I
yeah.
love that. I love that. So everybody tune in tomorrow. There'll be an opportunity if people would like to do a video response, a VR, they can. So I'm hoping that some people will find it useful.
Did
So
you say AR?
a VR, a video response, a
Oh, okay.
VR.
All right. Okay.
So, and JL said the idea of the toolkit idea is awesome. As someone who has some PTSD from my previous job, ambulance dispatch, we were trained to help others, but not ourselves when things got too much. Yeah.
Hunting for a book here. I don't know where I put it. I just would like to recommend a book uh, that I recently covered called The Body Keeps the Score.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
And it talks very specifically. Oh, did you see that? Oh,
Oh, I
or
missed it.
yeah, this is valuable information. Somebody needs this information. Um, it talks specifically in parts about people with PTSD and the specific sensory therapies that have been shown recently to work really well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really great resource.
I love that. And that's The Body Keeps Score.
The Body Keeps the Score.
Okay.
I've only read it and taken notes on it and made videos of it. So don't expect me to remember anything about it.
No, because
I think,
you're probably like me. If you've done it on a video, you don't need to remember it because it's out there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so
But what is
and
on my channel? Yeah, if somebody doesn't have time to read it, they
yeah,
could listen to it while they're doing something else. It's very
yes.
helpful. Yeah,
And Pia's Eclectic Life said that's a fabulous book. The
it
Body
really.
Keeps the Score.
Yeah.
Yes. So and so okay. So are you ready?
Oh, I'm bracing.
Are you nervous?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so these are just things for us to talk about.
Okay.
Just words. So we have 7, 6, 4, and 3. What number would you like?
3.
Balance. Let's talk about balance.
Well, I don't have any.
Okay.
The biggest klutz, I mean, I'm taking this quite literally, the biggest klutz in the whole entire world. I mean, I've broken my toe walking across the room multiple times.
Okay. Wow. That is a skill.
Yes,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
I'm, if I had a trophy, I would hand it to you, but I don't.
Thank you. I feel honored.
Okay. So one of the things that I think about with balance for me, Helen, is nothing is ever stagnant. It's always movement. So it's always something, something
You're
goes
always
like this, and then we do adjustments to get like that. And so
like being on a ship and trying to maintain stability.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So what do people in chat think about balance? Because I know when I wrote this, and we wrote this because this was at the time of the autumnal equinox.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me, I was obsessed about the idea of balance. I did.
One of the worst features. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I did a show on it. So
yeah, and I think this is important. It's an important topic for you to talk about. One of the worst features of our culture is that we have no work-life balance. People are worked to death. The emphasis on the importance of making money, being an employee.
yes,
that is so out of balance with the real purpose of life. We need to find some happy medium where you don't get phone calls at home from work. You don't have the expectation of doing unpaid overtime. Your children get sick, somebody in your family has a crisis, you feel guilty about leaving.
right.
That's not good. That's unhealthy and spiritually wrong.
Yes. And so when you're thinking about energetic balance, what helps you regain that balance?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the most balanced person. I'm a Taurus, I'm very grounded. I'm very stuck in my ways. I don't like change. So I don't challenge my balance very much.
Yes.
I find it very difficult to not become a little obsessive about things. That's being out of balance. If I'm going to exercise, I'm going to walk 8 miles. Or I'm going to sit home and do nothing.
Okay.
That's out of balance. So
that, yes.
Yeah.
That does have a little bit of imbalance there, because there's the need for giving ourselves some time. And I think if we pay attention to the environment around us, Mother Nature has been doing balance very nicely for millennia.
And moderation, we're so not in tune with moderation. And it's absolutely and utterly hysterical that these words are coming out of my mouth, because I'm the last person. But in theory,
and it isn't it all things in moderation, including moderation?
Oh, true. Oh, yeah, I believe that last part wholly.
So, yes. Okay. So the best chatters are really bringing it. And when I asked them about balance, Pia said balance in all things is so important. And Sherry said, I know I don't have very good balance, even with a cane. I still fall down.
I'm with you, Sherry.
Yeah. Donna O'Brien said, emotional balance is my current work in progress with outside influences. That's very powerful. And I think, Donna, one of the beautiful things is when we know we're out of balance, that's the first step to getting back in balance.
It absolutely is. 30, 40 years ago, when I would get really irritated or angry, I would just like a bottle rocket.
Oh, yes, me too.
I shouldn't probably tell you this, but I will, because it's just us. When we were first married, we had some stupid fight. so important. I can't even remember why. Oh, I know. I remember what it was. It wasn't my turn to wash the dishes. I have a
Oh,
very strong sense of equity, right? And as in all things, I'm goal oriented, do it now. And he's, oh, I'll get to it. And he does always get to it. So he hadn't done the dishes and it was driving me crazy. And it had been about a good 24 hours. And there were just the two of us. It's ridiculous when I think about it now. I got so mad. I started taking, he says, well, they're not bothering me. I started taking them out of the sink and throwing them on the ground.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think I've seen situations like that on body camera TV with, law enforcement. Just
Oh my gosh.
there was nothing interactive.
Oh yeah. You were expressing yourself very vividly and
I
with,
don't do that anymore.
yes.
I've learned balance, emotional
Yes. There you go. JL said balance sometimes involves juggling.
And when you juggle, sometimes you drop dishes. I just have to say.
Well, and sometimes when you do drop dishes, you need to laugh about it, because if you take it all too seriously, it's really awful.
I was really judicious about what I threw, and not at anybody, to the floor. But oh, I don't like that bowl. I won't touch that one. That was a wedding present.
So there was a balance in what you were discarding so that you could get rid of it.
That's right. That's right.
Debbie said, as an ex-dancer, balance is necessary. As a student of the metaphysical and esoteric, it's necessary. Oh yeah.
Rios, Debbie, did you do belly dancing? Is that your name,
I don't
Your
know.
name torture.
Yeah, shifting veils. That makes sense.
I'm always wondering about those veils and where they are and what they shift off of. I'm really curious.
Maureen said, I'm working on it with my family to set boundaries and learn to say no more often. Hard. Good for you. Yeah. That's very hard. Yeah. Rossi said, I'm a Libra, so balance is everything. Balance always shows up in my readings.
I'm curious, is balance a characteristic, a personality trait of Libras, or is it something that they really value but have to struggle for?
I think it could be either, to be honest with you. But that is a character trait. So with the Libra. Okay. And purposeful movement followed by thoughtful rest. Diana.
Hi. Yes. So,
and Beth brings up balance. 2 of Pence, which is my favorite card in the entire tarot deck.
Really?
Yes, I love it. I love it because it, for me, it resonates on so many different levels, on the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the inner and outer worlds. So Beth said temperance, balance of elemental yoga for physical balance that introjects psychologically to help understand the importance. So yeah, yoga is good. Breath to movement. Balance is fleeting. It's what you pass through as the pendulum swings.
Oh, I like that.
It's very nice.
Awe of rhythm, right?
Yep. So, okay. Just getting emotional balance became much easier for me after menopause.
Oh, I hear you. I totally hear that. Yeah.
So, but yeah. And so, okay. And there's so many great people here. So, just thinking about balance, and Beth said, I read something funny on Instagram. In every couple, there's one person who loads the dishwasher like a wild raccoon and the other like a civil engineer.
That's so true. He never does it right. I have to go back, and organize it.
These are my dishwasher. I do not have a dishwasher, so anyhow. Yeah. Okay, so 4, 6, or 7.
Do 4.
Ooh, here you go, everybody. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Cursive writing. What do you think about that?
I think there's not enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yes.
fewer than 2% of the population now really knows how to write in cursive.
Mm-hmm.
They're not teaching children about it really. Some schools do, but they're the the outliers.
They're the Catholics.
Do you remember sitting in class when you were 6 years old with a sheet of paper doing those spirals? They were training hand-eye, and they had to be perfect and they had to be on the lines, top and bottom. Oh my God, I remember that. Yeah. And the quality of your handwriting was really, really important to the nuns.
Yeah. Tamara says, I love cursive writing.
Yeah.
Oh, and Joanne mentions lots of emotion in handwriting.
Let me show you something. So I take notes on books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to type. Oh.
Just saw that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's actually pretty decent because it's just got started. By the end of the day, it's just hieroglyphics. Oh, you should see. Sometimes I'll be synopsizing a book and I'll be trying to read my notes and I'm like, oh my God, what did I write there? I have no idea.
Yeah. CJ said, I know young adults that can't read cursive. And
or
Amanda,
a clock.
Or read a clock. Yes. And Amanda's saying, my writing is a mix of cursive and printing.
Ooh, good call.
I like that balance.
Very good callback. I like
so
that.
There you go. I like that. And here you go. Diana said, my favorite, bring on the fancy well pens and all the ink. All of third grade circles and loops, could not wait till fourth grade and start with the letters A.
Do you remember getting your first cartridge ink pen?
I didn't get one of those, but I like fountain pens and I use fountain pens all of the time.
Well, that's what they were.
Yes.
They're those little plastic tubes that go inside the pen and they have a nib, If you press too hard, you bent it and then it didn't write. But it was like a badge of honor to have a knuckle that was all ink because the pens leaked.
Oh, yes.
Those pens.
Yes. Oh, and Maureen said, I can't print well. My cursive is better.
I think you make brain connections as a child, and
I again, for entertainment purposes only. But I do believe that there is some cognitive work when you're making the cursive letters and you're doing that. I think it does something to the synapses in your head.
It creates neural connections.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. Cursive writing is the new calligraphy. Won't be needed at all. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, and
but define needed.
Yeah.
I
mean, but oh yeah, there's a lot of love for the pens and remembering when you got the first cartridge pen.
It was this badge of honor. You were finally old enough that they trusted you with a cartridge pen. You'd stick it in your pocket and your white uniform shirt would have this blood, like you'd been shot and you were a blue blood,
Yep.
Yep.
And Diana got hers for her birthday before 5th grade. Hello, Colorado hippie hiker. Cursive studies have shown that learning cursive not only improves retention and comprehension, engages the brain on a deep level as students begin to join letters. Yep. And I love it. Teacher here. So it's that teacher approved. So I love that.
Well, you're right. People have, I know she knows this, that people have different learning styles. And I don't know what you would call my particular learning style, but if I read it and write it out and say it out loud, I remember it. I have a daughter who can only learn with music on, standing up, jumping around. Guess what she does for a living? She's a dancer.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
It is, yes. And cursive also enhances fine motor dexterity and gives children better idea of how words work in combination.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because I remember when I was in school, we had to get a certificate that showed that we passed printing and cursive. I was very disappointed that I did not get the certificate for the cursive the first time there was an opportunity.
Did you have to like improve your P's and Q's?
Let me tell you, I did improve my P's and Q's. I actually have very nice handwriting, and I do a combination of cursive and print. But yeah, it's like, oh yeah. So
I always start out with good intentions, and so writing a letter, because I write letters, or a card. I just sent some Halloween cards, and it's always Dear Mary, and it's all beautiful. And by the time I get Love Helen, it's illegible. You can't tell what the heck it says. Yeah.
Well, and I actually like it because I write in my book of shadows in cursive.
Mm-hmm.
So invariably, some people are not going to be able to read it because it's in cursive.
It just blows my mind.
And
you do calligraphy?
I do not do calligraphy. That I probably wouldn't have the patience for.
They wouldn't trust me with the calligraphy pen. I'd hurt somebody or myself. I just not, like I said, balance and dexterity, close cousins.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, my son says the more degrees I get, the worse my handwriting is.
He's just jealous.
I think he is just jealous. Yes. So, and I think if because I was one of my coven mates was wanting to teach her boys, how to write in cursive, and it's just like there are books out there and you can find them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not teaching it in the school,
there's a series of books called the McGuffies. They have McGuffey readers. They have penmanship. It's just such a nice term.
Yes. And well, I showed this the last time. I do have a McGuffey's.
Oh, that's right. You were the book. Yes.
And there's some things that you can look at that they actually have them. Here it is. They actually have the script.
Oh, yes. Look how beautiful that is. I think that's called copperplate. And that's an older, fancier kind of script that people used. You see it in old documents and it's sepia toned,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And Rossi's like, capital Q was the weirdest.
Did you have to learn how to make it like a big 2?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yes. It's like, so, oh, and then Maureen is talking about how many of us are left-handed and had to slant the paper, differently. So
you remember when that was such a gigantic issue in school if you were left-handed?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So
my father in Ireland, when he was a kid, so he was born in the mid-20s. So this is not quite the 1930s. They start school when they were 4. He was left-handed. So how did they deal with that, do you suppose? They tied his hand behind his back until he could do everything with his right hand. So he was ambidextrous, but he was also insane. I think it may have started then.
But see, isn't that interesting? Because when we have lost balance between what is a child's natural gifts and their tendencies, and when we don't balance that with, yes, you can do that, it creates imbalance. It's horrible.
Well, you know where this comes from. This is the insane part about it. The devil is on your left. Angels on your right. and it's from old biblical Christian belief, and therefore anything on your left is cartoons. The angel whispering in the right ear, the devil tempting them on the left.
Yeah. And see, and I'm going to be controversial, and I'm going to say angel, devil, it's just a name, because aren't, devils fallen angels, so to speak?
Well, yeah, Lucifer. I just had this moment of clarity.
Yes.
Remember, I was telling you about that Catholic charity dinner the other night.
Uh-huh.
Guess who was sitting on the left-hand side of everybody?
Oh, was he orange?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if that was intentional.
Could be.
They all were Catholics or rich. Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting. And you can find out what we're talking about if you go over to Irish Granny Tarot's Substack.
If you don't have time for that, go on YouTube and type in Kamala Harris and Mary Catherine Gallagher and watch. Did you watch it? Watch the video that Vice President Harris made to this dinner she did not attend. She starts out like it's a serious speech and is interrupted by Mary Catherine Gallagher, Molly Shannon, the comedian. Oh my God, in her school uniform. It was just
Mary Catherine Gallagher, Molly Shannon.
Love her.
Yes.
I absolutely love her. And talk about not having balance.
Yes, yes.
The way she throws herself around. It's a miracle she hasn't broken her hip.
Yes, yes. Oh, and Linda saw that. And Beth brings up, the guest of honor typically sits to the right of the host at dinner table. This is because the right side of the line has been the place of honor since ancient battle formations.
Well, guess who was on the left? And for Linda, Mary Catherine Gallagher, Molly Shannon, her autobiography is fabulous. She is such an interesting person. I can't remember what it was called, but it's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, superstar. And then Mary is throwing out some music. Everything you own in a box to the left, to the left, to the left. Yes.
Oh, I don't know that.
So yes. So, okay. So we've talked about balance. We've talked about cursive writing. Mm-hmm. 6 or 7?
You pick.
No, you.
Okay, 6. Notice I'm going in numerical order.
I know. It's very...
I'm a Taurus.
Yes, yes.
I can't help it.
Let's talk about color.
Oh, that's a good one. What do you want? Do you want me to say something?
Yeah, talk about color. I mean, this is a topic for us to discuss, and we can do whatever you want.
So color is vibration. It's the movement of molecules, and depending on the wavelength, how fast, their velocity, whatever, you get a particular color. Mm-hmm. And what fascinates me about color is that there are people, they have synesthesia. They can smell a color or see a color and taste something or hear music when they see colors. Oh my God, I think that's fascinating. And it comes from extra connections in the brain that the rest of us have disconnected for whatever reason. It's not something, how do I put this? It's not a mutation. It's not damage. And because they used to think, boy, they get hit on the head. No. And it's not anything negative other than the fact that it's something we've lost, most of us. They've retained it. Do you by any chance have that? Any form of it?
I do not. I love color. I am a huge fan of color. I have a natural affinity for color combinations that work. I just taught a color confidence for quilters workshop, 3-day workshop in September, and helping people to understand why the colors they like work together, and so really getting down to that point of
So briefly, why is that?
Because there's different color schemes that work. We have complementary colors on the opposite sides of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
We have analogous, which are colors that are next to each other on the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have split complementary, which is complementary colors, but one side of it is analogous. It's expanded. And so it's part of it is we have a natural, nature does a beautiful job with colors. I mean, look at nature, go see flowers, go see, birds, truly amazing. And it's one of those things that lots of people have colors that they're attracted to or they're repulsed to.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that there's emotional stuff around that too.
Oh yeah, well they're vibrations, so yes.
So they're very, they're vibrations, and all of the chakras have color in them as well, colors associated with them. So and when I do my fabric landscapes, or I should back up a second. When I was in art college and I was doing my work, I would invariably be I would be having colors, painting that was there. But then in the shadows, I would use a very vibrant color in the shadow just to make it exciting. And it worked. I think it was great.
What's your favorite color?
Well, I am a big fan of like lime green.
Mm-hmm. You like neon?
Well, I like that. I like the intensity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think what's really beautiful is when we start. If I were to tell everybody, okay, go start noticing the color lime green, everybody's going to start noticing that. And what's wonderful about it, and this is where I get geeked out, is I have lots of books about color
mm-hmm.
and color theory, and I have paintings, and I love paintings particularly because of their colors. And I think what I am working on is what's the energy around that color that is coming through, and how can I put those energies together to create a new energy?
Or to manipulate people's response.
Absolutely. That's what advertising is.
I was just going to say, it's so sinister what they do. So watch any major news channel. Let's just say, for instance, Fox. And you'll notice they're really into red, white, and blue. And everybody thinks, well, that's because it's American, right? Well, no, that's not it at all. They've done psychological studies. If they want you to feel a sense of urgency, like what they're saying is really important, you'll see a red banner, breaking news. It's bright red, right?
Yep.
If they want you to trust them and believe them, it's blue. They'll show a blue background. Oftentimes, especially the women, will wear kind of a royal blue. You notice there's a preponderance of that on screen. They want you to trust what they have to say. And for some reason, that color triggers trust, which is, it's because it's energy. It's a vibration. It's so weird.
Yeah. There's some wonderful stuff going on in the chat. I've missed some of that. JL, this caught my eye. JL said, my aversion to orange is mainly due to Mr. Pumpkinhead. So.
Well, don't you think we're attracted to colors that look good on us?
I think we are. I also think we are attracted to colors that we've been told look good on us.
Well, I'll give you an example. I look like I have liver disease when I wear yellow. And as a result, don't look at this room. My son-in-law is an artist. He picked the color out. and it's a fabulous color because it plays with the daylight all day long.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I had nothing to do with this at all, and it was a good choice. But I really don't like yellow. If it's yellow, I won't pick it. If there are choices, I will never go for the yellow. And it's kind of a visceral thing, but I'm sure it's because so many times I've seen myself in something yellow many years ago, because I don't do that anymore. And it's like, oh God, you need to go to a doctor.
Well, and I actually think this is where if you had attended my class, my workshop, I would have said, you probably haven't found a yellow that is the right that has the right undertone to it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Yeah, of course, that's true.
And but then of course I would be looking at you going, I wonder if Helen had a bad experience with mustard on a hot dog or something like that,
That's too funny.
But I do think I think and there's some color decks out there, color astrology and stuff like that. I think it's very fascinating, and you're right. Color is energy.
Yep. Why is it so hard to pick out the right color paint?
What do you mean? Is it hard for you to pick out the right color paint?
Well, that's why my son-in-law did this, because if it had been up to me, I'd never picked this color. And it's a great color in this room, for this particular environment. I'd never have picked it. I usually opt for like white because it's just easy. It never lives up to my expectation.
Sure. Well, and I do think, what is interesting is a lot of museums, when you go to museums, they will paint the walls like a dark green and then put the artwork on top of on those walls. And part of that is because that color, the color they choose for the walls, enhances the experience of seeing the colors as a viewer.
Contrast, you mean? But they're all different colors, aren't they?
It contrasts, but it's also, in my opinion, again, for entertainment purposes only, I think part of it is because they want a dark color, but they don't want it to be a gray or a black. They need it to have some sense of a color about it. So a dark green allows reds, oranges, yellows, golds to vibrate a little bit.
Well, in hospitals until recently, all hospitals were kind of this sort of dead green color on the, that's not a good choice of words. Or maybe it is. But the idea was that it was calming.
Yep.
I don't know.
And actually we were talking about that, and yeah, dark forest green is a great neutral. And
I would never think of that as a neutral. And I'm not arguing. I understand I know nothing. But if you asked me to pick a neutral color, I would never think dark green.
Well, what would you say for a neutral color?
Ecru or eggshell or something like that.
Okay. I understand that. I mean, but I think, what you'll oftentimes see in like a doctor's office, you'll find analogous colors that are on the same, next to each other on the color wheel, but they will be tones. They will be grayed down a little bit, so it's not a vibrant color, and they just work together. And it's like, okay, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to go into a doctor's office with red on the walls.
I have never thought about it.
So
I'm oblivious. Most egregious fashion in color decor of rooms. 1980s, pink and gray.
Yes. It was it Dusty Rose?
Peachy.
Yeah. And yes, Dusty Rose, and was it Colonial Blue?
And I like those. I like the grays. I like the peaches and the dusty roses.
Yep.
But they just took it way too far.
Oh, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. Yeah. So, but yeah. Hi, Tanis, Twillo Lifestyle Community. Good to see you. Teal and Peach in the 80s.
Oh my God, yes. I forgot.
And
yes.
So there's a lot of conversation in there. And I think, I think you bring up a very good point about color. Is it has an energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it actually has a scientific energy. It also has a chakra energy.
Mm-hmm.
It has an emotional energy. So if you are adverse to yellow, then don't put yellow. Don't wear a yellow shirt.
Yeah, right. Because it affects your mood. You just don't feel quite as fancy about yourself, if you're in a color that doesn't work for you. And I think sometimes you don't even realize what the problem is.
Yeah.
Until you see a photograph. You go, oh God, why didn't anyone tell me?
Yeah. Well, and Tamara said there are so many different types of pink. I think pink is a color range tied to different emotions and memories.
Memories, really? That's interesting.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And color is physics.
Everything is physics.
And avocado green. And by the way, they're now calling avocado wasabi. They've upgraded it. It's still pretty much the same color. They've just changed the name.
Oh my God. That's so fun. Yeah.
But
avocado, mustardy color. Yeah, that mustard and avocado. When we moved into this house, it was the early 80s and it had been decorated in the 70s. I'm not making this up. There was kind of a Baroque pattern, kind of that swirly Baroque pattern, flocked wallpaper on the walls downstairs with a baby poop yellow trim everywhere and navy blue curtains. It was horrendous. And upstairs in the bathroom had been wallpapered in lime green, you would have loved it, and powder blue Holly Hobby contact paper.
That is some choices.
Oh my God, I'll never forget it. You know how many months it took to get that stuff off the walls?
Flocked wallpaper. Wow, I haven't.
Flocked and mustard, and a particular color of mustard you only see when the baby's a month old. Just
wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. So everybody, please make sure that you are liking this video and that you are subscribed to Irish Granny Tarot, because where else are you going to find out about a particular mustard colored yellow?
I want to know about babies. I'm your woman, I'll tell you what.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have our last card. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm sad.
Well, we can always finish this up and then figure out another time to get together.
Yeah.
Your next book.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in the middle of one.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll probably be another week, possibly two. I'm not 100% sure how quickly it'll go. But the book after that, I've got it ready. It's a weird one. I will tell you this. I got an not anonymous, but an unknown email from somebody suggesting this book. And the guy came with like 2 pages of recommendations and interviews he'd done. He didn't write the book. He knew the man who wrote the book, who died years ago. And this book is metaphysics and out of this world. That's all I'll say. So I was a little hesitant, but I watched an interview with him and I thought, okay, he's not saying anything egregious that I disagree with. This might be interesting. So I got the book and I read the book and I really liked where it went. I thought people will really like this book. It's thought provoking. So I'm going to cover the book, and it's a short book. And then he's going to come talk.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's one of your Saturday, because every Saturday you do a video, you release a video about books.
We're working on Luis Elizondo's book. Here, I've got it hidden here. Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs. You know, recently, a couple of years ago, they came out and said, well, folks, we've been lying to you since Roswell. They're real and they're not human. The Pentagon.
Yeah.
And this is one of the stills from one of their many, many videos from fighter planes and the USS Nimitz, the nuclear airline carrier, whatever they're called. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Maureen is reading Virgin River series by Robin Carr. And Amanda is another Ruth Raquel book. Reichel. And okay, so because Helen and I talked about libraries and books earlier this month, so go watch that video. And Maruta said, my reading selection is a bit more trivial. The loveliest chocolate shop in Paris.
What's trivial about that? Chocolate is the top of the food pyramid. Excellent.
And, you know, I worked at a library. No one is going to give you a hard time about what you read.
No.
Never.
Let me recommend this, which I did videos on ages ago. The author came and spoke with us about the book. But this last, today, boy, time has no meaning. I uploaded a conversation. She came back and we talked about being a writer, because her career as a writer has been absolutely fascinating. She does a lot of periodicals and newspapers and stuff, but this is her book. And her father, I'm going to have him come too. He just got his book published, and I'm really excited to do this book. I haven't gotten it yet, and it's going to be probably January. It's the definitive biography of Marilyn Monroe.
Ooh, she's a fascinating person.
It's huge, this book. It's hundreds of pages, and it's large format too. It's just enormous. So
I love it. And
Fast Food Workers' Stolen Valor, that just came down here on my
okay. The Paris novel is what Amanda's referencing. The Wonder of Unicorns by Diana Cooper. And Tana said, yep, eating some now, related to chocolate. So the witch
tree levels up. You want to keep your chocolate blood serum level, you know, stable.
Yes. So, and Rebecca Solnit, A Paradise Built in Hell, about how communities form from crisis or disorder.
Is that about Paradise, California, the fire?
I don't know.
Have you seen the videos from that?
I have not.
I couldn't watch the documentary. I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. Oh my God, imagine. Just terrifying.
So, Life's a Witch, Amelia Ash and Kim M. Watt, fantasy. Yep. So I read to a friend of mine's daughter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we are reading this one. This is book 2 of The World Between Blinks. This is Rebellion of the Lost. Fascinating. It's a good read aloud. It's a very good read aloud.
And what age is it? 8, 10?
This is probably about 10, 8, 9, or 10. So, you know, and
Gerald, I have to say something, an observation here.
Yes.
Your subscribers read.
Yes, they do.
The average American reads, I'm not making this up, fewer than 2 books a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all hear that, you know, y'all read. You have the best chatters have surprised Irish Granny Tarot. You bring it.
Fabulous. I'm so impressed and so grateful.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't written anything, but I'm just so grateful to know that there are fellow readers out there.
Yes. This is a book I just got in this past week. It is The Psychic Art of Tarot, and it's by Matt Arid.
Oh, I have to write that down.
It's his newest book. He did the Psychic Witch, and I cannot remember the second one, but this one came out, so I'm looking forward to that. The Psychic Art of Tarot, and then the other thing that I'm actually listening to, Stephen King on writing.
Isn't that the best book? Oh,
I have really enjoyed it, and one of the things that really made me very happy is this. In the introduction, he talks about the elements of style.
Yeah,
Drunken White.
Yeah,
and I had to read that my senior year.
Yep.
For my my English teacher, and boy, really a good book. And I dabble in writing, and so I'm like going, Drunken White. I need to read that again. The Elements of Style.
The nuns were particularly fond of things like grammar and syntax and those, things. And I don't know. Do you know Monty Python?
Yes.
Well, anymore, I say things and people look at me like I'm crazy. I mentioned Groucho Marx to somebody and they had no idea who I was talking about. So Monty Python's movie, I believe The Life of Brian, is that the Romans and the Jews at the time of Christ? So there's a scene in The Life of Brian where the Jewish population is putting graffiti on walls, and in Latin they write "Romans go home," and there's like a 15-minute skit on the Roman centurions catch them in the act. And do they punish them for scrawling on the walls? No, they correct their Latin grammar. As if you've ever had to do basic Latin grammar, oh my God, it's the most genius thing. It is hysterically funny. Nerd comedy. That's all I can say. It's just
and it's fast too. That nerd comedy. Monty Python is brilliant.
All guys were PhDs and
they're PhDs, and I loved it. And I remember actually I was watching the Monty Python, the TV show, with a then boyfriend, and they were talking about artists in a bicycle race, and I'm rolling around on the ground because it's hilarious. He didn't understand any of it. First of all, he didn't understand the artist and that it was Monty Python and funny. So.
Well, that's the end of that relationship. I mean, if there's just no common ground.
Well, yeah.
Okay. I get it.
Janice keeps getting told she's supposed to write a book. Aren't you supposed to write several books?
It starts with the first page.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. It's Twilio. That's very cute.
Yes.
It seems overwhelming. Start small. Start a Substack. It's free. All you have to do is just download the app on your phone or go to the website on your computer. Call yourself something. You can use Twilio and commit like 3 times a week or whatever. Just commit and kind of hold you accountable. I'll write up, 4 paragraphs or something, and you'll be really surprised how it becomes a compulsion.
There you go. Yeah. And that's good because, I probably have a book in me too. Probably just, several of them. But Silly Walking, The Ministry of Silly Walks.
And marching up and down the square.
Yep. And Tanis used to keep Groucho Marx glasses in her desk to draw for a bad day. Monty Python, Faulty Towers. Yep.
All the movies, yes.
Yes. Kaylee is here. Hello, just finished class. Good to see you. And What's the name of the app again? It's Substack, isn't it?
Substack, all one word, and just like it sounds, Substack.
There you go, Substack. Thank you, Divining Nature.
And just all the people that you can think of that have opinions all have their own Substack. Greg Olear, he's a writer. He's got a podcast and a Substack called Prevail. Really interesting. Is it? Oh God, I'm bad with names. Is it Robert Reich? He was in Obama's.
I don't know.
He's got a good one. Andrea Watkins, who was raised a white supremacist. And so she's doing a Substack called How Project 2025 Will Ruin Your Life. And she talks about it as somebody who recognized the signaling of the choice of words and the language. Yeah.
And here you go, Tamara. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. You know.
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah, Reich is fabulous.
Got his name right, it's a miracle.
Yeah. So, and there you go. People are now quoting Monty Python. So again, the best chatters.
You're welcome.
Know what's going on.
Greatest scene in any Monty Python movie, other than How Many Romans, is the one. I'm Irish and I'm from a huge family, so let she who was without sin, right? It's the terribly large Irish Catholic family, and she's dropping babies at the sink while she's making dinner, and they break into a song. Every sperm is sacred.
That is one of my favorites, because how can you take that concept and make it into a full-blown musical number, high quality? I mean, it's
the kids dancing. It's like Oliver, and they're oh my God, it's so funny. Love it.
It was so incredible. And Diana's going, oh, can't wait for the replay and transcript so I can get all these titles written down.
Yeah.
Both, yeah.
How about, oh, I'm so terribly embarrassed. It must have been the salmon moose.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. And that Democracy Docket is very informative.
I'll write that down.
So,
and Tom Hartman.
And okay. Amanda said, I used to have a big crush on Michael Palin. So did I.
Did you? Well,
Of course.
You've seen some of his travel stuff.
Oh, of course. I love it. And, and Monty Python used to do German training films. They actually used to do training films for business. I mean,
in German?
It's just in German. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh, that is weird.
So weird. So.
Well, you know what they're like? They're a little bit like Queen, the musical group.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all biochemists or something weird like that. No shade on biochemists. And then the writers for The Simpsons, same thing.
Yep.
I've got a book about The Simpsons that's all about, experimental physics and stuff. It's just unbelievable. They're so smart.
See, and this is what I find extremely interesting. And I encourage everybody to pick up a book about a topic you don't know anything about. Expand your horizons.
The choices are endless in that case. Gerald.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, especially for me, let me tell you. But the other thing is if you want to learn about something, go to your library, talk to the staff there, and actually be willing to look at kids' books or young adult books to first how to get a basic understanding of some stuff. I mean, come on, it's incredible.
When my children were really little, we lived in the children's department at the library, and I met a young woman who was an immigrant from China. And she approached me one day, and had no English and sort of pointed to this children's book, and it was quite clear she wanted help pronouncing something or trying to figure out what something meant. She learned English by reading children's books while her child was at story time. It was just the most remarkable thing to watch her evolve into a really good English speaker from just doing that. Incredible.
Yep. And something that I learned, and I said this on the show with you earlier this month, is never make fun of somebody for their pronunciation. It's because they learned it from a book. They didn't learn it from conversation. So one of my sons got his young adult book published, hopefully coming on an Amazon in November. Congratulations.
Oh my God. That's fabulous.
Yes. And I am a huge fan of this book, Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert.
Why is that name familiar?
Because I probably talked about it, because I've been talking about this a lot. Big Magic is so good, and it talks about creativity and things that you can do with creativity. Just fascinating.
Was she in Little House on the Prairie?
No, that's another Elizabeth Gilbert, but this is the author of Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh, okay. I haven't read that.
She would be somebody that I would actually love to have on for a laugh and learn about, about, hey, let's talk about creativity. Maybe I'll do that. So,
well, you should just have yourself on talk about creativity. You're very creative.
Well, thank you. But, and so she brings a lot of history about it and some really beautiful examples. So, Maureen said that's Melissa Gilbert.
Oh, right. I'm terrible with names. I'm so bad with names. Okay.
So Helen, we are out of cards. Until the next time,
I'm so sad.
New cards. So
I don't like change.
You don't like change?
No, I'm sad. They're all done.
Let me tell you, I hate change, and I used to do transition management training at work, and I'm like, I hate change. I hate transition, especially if I don't control it.
I like everything to be exactly the same way at all times.
Of course. Well, but if that happens, then the balance is stagnant. If there's no movement with that, there's no growth.
Snap. Very true. So good. Very good. That's right.
What do you have coming up that might be of interest to the people watching this video?
Well, I do this Substack.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be advice column like Ann Landers. Mm-hmm. And apparently all of the people that subscribe to my channel have no problems. It's really hard to get people to write in with their personal problems. I think people are reluctant to expose themselves, but I make them completely anonymous. I change genders, I change names, places, the whole thing. Yeah. I just get the kernel of the problem. So what has happened, it's kind of evolved. When I don't have a question for a few weeks, I feel guilty, like I should be doing something. So I've just been pontificating. I've been writing opinions, just talking about what's going on in the world. I've done a few poems. I wrote
very nice
a parody of The Raven, Edgar Allan Poe, The Craven, about the Republicans. Mm-hmm. And a couple of weeks ago, I did with Ramon, we did poems, and I went ahead and put them on my Substack. I did, Ogden Nash, There Once Was a Woman from, so I did them on J.D. Vance and Trump and Melania, and it was very fun.
Excellent.
So check that out. And ongoing wonderful guests, do a book, and then I have people who know about it, people who can actually speak intelligently about it, because I can't. I get them to come on and talk and do cards and get invited to be on other people's wonderful channels. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So do you have anything coming up at the end of the month that you want to tell people about?
Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you for reminding me.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
so Halloween is coming up, and I have some special things planned for Halloween. Um, I've done some research, and I'm going to do some separate videos in the week leading up to Halloween about 3 really interesting spooky stories. I think I'll keep that a secret. And
I
then
would.
Deborah Lupian has been the lucky recipient of 6 million questions that I gave her to channel. And on Halloween, we're going to solve some crimes because she's going to channel the participants in these unsolved crimes and other situations. And we're going to do some mystery work on Halloween evening.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And oh yes, and the Colorado hippie,
Yeah.
Samhain, Samhain, all of that.
The Irish invented Halloween. You're welcome.
Yes. Well, I put this up there because Richie and I are from Longman Tarot. He and I are going to do Samhain readings, and he was being silly and calling it Samhain readings.
Oh, listen, I'm never going to introduce them to my children. They all have Irish names. And of course, they don't sound phonetically like they look at all like Samhain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they remind me at least once a week. Thanks a lot, Mom. It's great.
And I would also say, congratulations. You have a unique name. Get over it.
Hey, I picked it because I liked it.
Yeah. Do you need me to talk to them? Because I'll talk to your children.
I might. Because I won't be talking to them pretty soon if they keep this.
Oh my gosh. So everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the playback. Leave a comment. Subscribe to both of our channels. There's also ways that you can support the channels, including making a donation and getting readings. And I'm wondering if maybe the next time I have Helen back on, maybe we could do some readings together for people.
Would love to. I would love to. I did some readings this morning on McDonald's.
Yes.
Spur of the moment. Very odd situation. Did he take ketchup with that, I wonder?
Anyway. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh well. So everybody, thank you again for being here. Tomorrow I have the kickoff for Mental Health Magic. I'm hoping that people will be interested in that. And I'm also I have Lindo de Gonzalez and Hershey the Shadow Reader. We're talking about baggage.
Oh.
Is it ours? How do you identify it? How do you get rid of it? What do you do with it? So
that's heavy. No pun.
Some baggage can be very heavy, and then other baggage. Why are we carrying this around?
I actually should mention that tomorrow morning, of course, we record it, but I upload it immediately. We don't do this live. My friend Nate and I were going to do current events. We read on a list of current events. And for all of you out there who love a really nice French accent, we have people who write to me and ask me, can you please get Nate to say tableau?
He would probably do it and giggle about it.
He did, yeah.
He is a very, very nice person.
What did you say? Could you say that again?
Yeah. Yes. You need to make that into a short, So, oh my gosh.
We should charge for it, like people charge for those, like famous people charge for those cameos. I've heard about that.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Should charge for Nate's cameo. What words would you like Nate to say in his beautiful French accent? I should be his agent.
You should. That is so fun. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Gerald. Bye.